Let's see.
It's good that Carlos bought an adapter. We have to buy a few of them and have them in every
You should have
bag
Yeah,
everywhere.
they may be in the other, okay.
But then you don't have
What do you-
enough
what
size
do you-
to
what do you-
bring it.
Well, you have to,
I'm going to
spend time.
copy my USB,
What are you copying here for?
my notes, my PowerPoint and everything for the desktop.
To what desktop? I thought you have it in the desktop.
On this computer,
Okay.
sure.
Oh, here, why am I so low? Oh, so you have to,
Is it working already?
so you know what you have to do?
You can raise your tuchus and lift
Yeah.
it. No. You high?
Yeah, that's good. So it's broadcasting now. You want me to keep on
Keep
broadcasting?
it, don't stop.
Okay, now on the
This way
loop,
you don't have to mess with it. Just copy the URL of YouTube and paste it in my notepad. Control copy the URL. Now go to the RTF.
Oh,
Don't make a mess as you usually do. Just once is enough. Just don't talk a lot, please. Listen to what I'm saying. You want to go to the folder here, open it up, and paste it, the URL, Control V. You understand what I'm doing?
okay, now you want me to record also in Zoom already? You want me to do the recording or you want to do it later?
The recording is just pressing some buttons,
Yeah,
but
so
I would say it now. Start
No,
now. Why
but you want to be
record.
the front here, no?
Record, set up everything that we always do.
Okay, so you don't want this.
Let me just save my PDF
Well, you told me to record, what shouldn't we do?
in case it hangs up. Let
Okay,
me
have you
save.
saved this?
No.
Why don't you save this?
That's what I was telling you. And you can go and help them.
I don't want to help them. I want to work on this. What do you think?
Anytime I'm asking you for help, it's
I'm
forgetting.
telling you, we want to start this
No.
first. Do you know how to use all this? You don't, so don't make stories out of it.
Hey, you are.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay. How
You got a haircut.
Yes, I got it.
Wow.
So what's
Looks cute.
thanks. So what's up with you? You know, the only time I get to see you, that's why I have to go bring you in just to get to see what's going on.
We are now the spatial co-pilot.
Oh, wow. Fancy title, huh?
And so they're like, oh, okay, here's more money. Go hire people.
Okay, great.
Good. Maybe you can hire us.
Co-pilot, you have to have a niche to say it's co-pilot, right?
You know, all the things that we were doing before, we
Right.
just called it spatial co-pilot. And they're like, oh.
Okay, good. No,
Before it was mixed reality, this, and we're some technologies, holograms.
No.
Which reality?
Co-pilot.
Forget.
Spatial.
Forget.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's good. So what do you want to show?
I can talk about the whole 3D scanning of my house.
Yeah, that was great, you know, and taking the scan and developing it,
And thinking about AI, how AI is going to be.
integrating AI with it, you know, you use the scan to train the AI, everything about your building, the plans, the executions, videos of progress reports, compliance, when they don't comply, to fix the problems. And all of it will be fed to the AI. What we are going to demonstrate is AI on a local host on a small model.
Okay.
So unlike the larger model, first of all,
What is this you got going? Oh, these are batteries.
The battery.
Battery,
He added
thanks.
batteries to it.
Oh, and now it's like, because they're so colorful, it's like, is this Mickey Mouse?
Right. It's cute.
so anyways, what did I want to tell you? To use it to train the AI about a specific area, but very extensive. So let me test it. Record video. Okay, so anyways, you're going to produce materials, and this AI that is running on local host, if you don't want to share it with the world, you don't have to, because it runs on a local host.
Yep.
And you train it, everything about this house will be there, all the documents, all the plans, all the PDF, all the structural engineering, everything. And it will be like a project management, everything related to this house, from the construction companies to everything else, will be trained to the AI. So later on, let's say that you come into the house, you try the plug, no power. There is a plate there and there is a socket, but it doesn't work. Who is the contractor that is responsible? And all of that will be in the AI, and you talk to the AI in conversational way. So hands-free, like call Annie.ai. I demonstrated to you
Yeah.
before. And that is what we are doing, but in a local home.
That was at the Smart Cities. Was that last year?
Yes.
Did you do the Smart Cities again this year?
I didn't think.
We are,
Oh,
we are
okay.
scheduled to.
No, there's something,
What?
wasn't there a Smart Cities?
There was a smart city at UM.
There are different smart
Oh,
cities.
Yeah, there was a smart city at UM, and then there was smart city with that guy, Bernardo.
Oh.
Right. So, did I ever send you, she did a picture of you, I just found it the other day, did I send it to you? It was you were like behind a backdrop, you were your yellow,
Oh,
jacket, did I ever send it to you?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, because I remember she was a professional.
Yeah, she was, and I was looking for stuff, because we were gonna do a music, somebody asked us to do.
What you are doing is perfect for the city of Coral Gables. They're trying to automate their CAD CAM and integrate it with AI for spatial.
Right,
You know what CAD CAM is, right?
Denise, this is Carlos.
Hi, Carlos. Nice to meet you.
And Denise, this is.
Colin, hi.
Colin, nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
Are these your students?
Well, sort of. Sort of, yeah. Colin's a PhD student at UM, and Carlos is kind of like, we're working on some projects with Carlos, and he's
Yeah.
doing some small language models.
Are you an advisor on a PhD?
No,
No.
no.
Not yet, maybe in the future.
ERM Protect, she does like security.
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity and Colgate, which has been around for a long time. Those are the PCI, basically compliant. So
Yeah.
she introduced me to Colin. So when I said I needed a speaker, I said, I want Colin. I want somebody to test it. So kind of a combination. So you want to test it out? You want to?
Well, I'm not gonna show. This is the HoloLens. Oh, it's been around since 2019. That's where, this is the HoloLens too. The first one shifted.
The most important thing that I must ask,
Why?
do I need to take my lenses off?
You need to take a glasses off.
Glass? No. Oh, that's good.
But I need to charge it.
I really hate when they tell me, hey, I got this new VR, but you have to take your glasses off.
So everything's working on you're ready to go. Colin, good.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, all right, can I
I'm really
start
glad
with
you
this?
Just
have
let me
glasses.
Yeah.
Just save the file.
All right.
You need to buy the glasses.
Yeah.
Be what? Around the wall.
Yeah.
After I just install the routing,
Yeah.
I can just call it separation.
My Amazon.
Yeah. And first you are the one
Yeah.
and that's like the first your routine. I mean, you still, if you use the drivers.
Yeah.
But look at this. Okay. I mean,
That's pretty quick
it's
too.
big and
Where's it loading, like with the
It's like
small?
Should make him be out.
Yes. Yes.
the
Bring them together, one after the other, so.
Yeah, no, Colin's gonna go first and then Carlos will go.
Fine, good.
And Angel said he's gonna come
I
here.
have
Fine.
checked that out.
And
I just
then,
wanted that's it.
Denise is setting up. So it's fantastic. I told him, move somebody else out of the room.
Yes,
Wasn't
right.
very much, I just talked to.
Yeah.
Easy on them.
So.
Everything is going to scratch.
So what, like 5-10 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes and then discussion,
Right,
and
yeah.
then in the happy hour, we'll continue.
Yeah, but it's supposed to start, oh, you're asking how long?
How long do you want me to
Yeah,
talk
about
about
10.
this?
10 minutes, and then be prepared to discuss
We
it.
got 10,
The
20,
application
30, 40,
is
yeah.
quite simple to do it. Just because. Say,
Maybe we'll do, you know what, we'll maybe have you, after Carlos. Carlos gonna show his
Yeah.
language model, and then we have someone else coming. He says he's on his way, it's supposed to be somebody else. I'm so happy that they,
You're like a.
yeah, it's all on marketing, right? What do you name it?
This model never needed it.
I'm glad that, thanks a lot for changing your time too, or otherwise we wouldn't have time to get. And remind me, just send me a text and I'll send you should make 2 shots of you.
Interesting. For you, easy peasy. You already failed the first one, the second one. You got the third one. It's new, like,
That's interesting.
you know, because it's something that as I figure out, like the alien is how to read.
Hello,
And
hi,
it's not
I'm
change.
Sarah.
Hi.
Good, good, good. I'm so glad we got
The end into my end. So this
Just making
guys.
sure everything's happening.
Yeah, yeah, we're great. You're.
I would talk about that.
Penny,
Nice to meet you.
Sarah.
I
Examples of.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you. I'll be back at the front if you run into any problems.
Yeah, now that's why I'm so happy. We got
Yeah,
this
yeah,
room
yeah.
there.
Yes.
So we have so many.
I want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can give it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They propose architecture.
You know,
coder.
They need to do it.
Yeah.
And what is your job? What is your role?
Well, now as a manager in digital consulting as risk advisory.
Okay, okay.
Related to.
Becomes easier.
So what are you presenting?
AI challenges.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Like.
Good, let me tell you what our topic is. Okay, yeah, put your USB on the desktop.
No, yeah, let him
Yeah.
set up.
All right. Here, there is a USB slot.
Yeah, just be. That's
Doesn't matter with her, it's independent, just stick it in the USB slot. Then if you have a folder that you can copy and paste.
Yeah, directly.
No, not directly, also make a copy of the desktop.
Make a copy of the desktop.
You think you may need it,
Yeah.
and later on you can delete it.
Yeah, so,
In the meantime, remember in accounting, backup and recovery.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And your background is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually from science in Mexico, also I studied a master degree in mathematics.
Okay, great.
Advanced statistics.
I have.
Now I was studying my PhD in mathematics in
Yeah.
Mexico, but currently I'm here in Miami for grantor.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
And your
I'm the
role
first
is what?
here as a manager for model risk related to anti-money laundering,
Okay.
analytics,
Yeah.
mainly.
Okay, so.
If you need my CV or my role,
No.
Everybody knows, everybody knows who
You have your CV on your USB? No? Good.
Yes.
Just let me tell you what is the presentation about, to understand. Can you come here for a minute? Look, this is the presentation. The topic
Okay, so you're ready.
is AI job forensic, remote video 360,
What do you think?
inspection audit, AR, VR, and MR. You know what is a remote video inspection?
Yeah, well, that's the main topic, but I'm replacing from the last moment to other guy.
Yeah, I know.
And he told me, I need to speak related to AI challenges.
That's right.
That's my topic, so I.
But I want you to understand the topic.
Yeah.
You know what is RVI, remote video inspection?
Yes, but
Well, what
not
do you-
my
I know,
specialty.
but I want you to understand what it is.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Well, forensics,
No, remote video inspection.
if you.
Let me
tell
explain.
it, if you,
No.
no, if you can get into
No.
computer in a.
This is a head-mounted computer. You see? I'm talking to it now. Record video. Did you hear a noise?
No, yeah.
That means it is working. But it does. I have to see the counter here. Record video.
Yeah.
So it's 10, 20, 30. 40,
Flash on.
50,
Yeah,
and
I mean, give it any kind of.
Doesn't work. Okay?
Yes.
Flash off.
I didn't-
So this is used for remote video inspection.
Okay,
Let's say
okay,
that you're in Mexico and I supervise,
yeah,
but I cannot go to Mexico.
okay,
So I see and hear in real time everything that this camera sees.
Yeah.
what is happening, yeah.
And all the audio, I hear it in Miami,
You're in Mexico City.
right? And I'm in Miami
Mitigation.
with the same situation. And I am senior and you are junior, so you have a lot of questions and you don't know what you are doing. But it's not a problem because I see and hear everything that you are doing. And I'm recording it locally and on the cloud.
And so I think.
And here, we are streaming it live to YouTube. This is the YouTube live broadcast right now.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah,
So, and this is related to RVI, remote video inspection audit. I'm auditing you from Miami remotely when you are working in Mexico and you are not experienced in the situation. Let's say it's in banking. And you're a mathematician and you don't know much about accounting and banking, but you're doing an audit and you need help with the accounting. You're not even sure what is a debit and a credit. But no problem, I know everything. And you say, hey, this transaction, is it a debit or a credit?
yeah,
And I explain to you, you do it on the right side because it is a credit and the reason is blah, blah, blah. You do it on the right side and everything is recorded locally on this machine. And this is recording on this machine.
Experiences, the Unity developers.
You see this?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to stop this recording. I don't want to upload it now. I say no. And I want to record another clip. So I start a new recording.
As long as we landed.
And then I take the file name of this recording and copy it to the memory, Control C, and start the recording. So you see now we start the recording, and then I put the recording file name in the recording file name. It is an MPEG video file. And I'm putting it inside my document right here. You see this document RTF, rich file,
Like, I'm not letting it like right.
RTF, which,
I need to.
you know what RTF stands for? Rich,
Yeah, it's so fluffy.
rich text format. It's a
Yeah.
format with
Yeah.
graphics. It's like Notepad. You know what Notepad is? Just text.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
RTF is just text plus graphics. So for example, if I want to make a copy of my,
Yeah.
I have a PPT, PowerPoint, right? And I want to copy this to the buffer, right? Control C,
Oh, yeah.
I copied it to the buffer. And now I want to put it in my notepad.
You got these natural little curves, making it shaggy, lovely volume without a.
Control V. Oh, it's the file name. I didn't do a good job. Okay, I go back to here, right mouse click, copy to the clipboard buffer.
We have 3 minutes. Let me get.
Let me finish with him. I'm just almost done. I want him to show him something. I'm going to my notepad. This is RTF, rich text file. Control V. Okay, you see?
Yeah,
So it can handle text plus graphics.
Yeah.
And why is the graphics important? Because I can take a snapshot of YouTube, for example, and stick it in my notes. So
Yeah.
let's say that this is YouTube. You see YouTube here?
yes, you come.
YouTube, and I have the URL from YouTube. Anyways, I can take the image of this, screen
Yeah.
FN, print screen. No, Windows print screen, yes. And now I can take this and I can paste it in this document that can handle text plus graphics.
Yeah.
And then save it.
Right,
And this becomes part of the audit paper, okay?
yeah.
So this is an example, and this is a 360 camera. Unlike normal camera that has only one lens,
Yeah,
this has another lens in the back and it's stitching. And you can rotate the video and see the
Yeah.
board and also the audio.
360 degrees.
Right. And we can stream it in real time.
Okay, can you sit here and then I'm going to turn on I'm going to turn on Avi, then you can film it because this way, I'll film backwards, is, let me just, can you stay here? I want to,
You know, if all goes well, I'll get to do that again this year.
Oh, yeah.
I want to, record,
I like it.
and then I'm gonna record to the cloud.
Now start all the recording and all the
Oh,
transcription.
Abby, can you, no, but can you stay here? Cause then you put, because it'll just.
Okay, go ahead.
You capture,
Background, if you can get
I-
rid of it, just have the actual what the camera
yeah,
sees.
yeah, hold on.
Yeah. You can use like, people really.
Okay, so we want just none. Right, we want none. Okay. And now, but we want, when we want to film the front. Okay, so we're recording now. And now I want to show captions. Okay, okay, captions is on. Okay, so now don't you want to
Do the
show?
transcript and
It
everything.
is everything stuff, but you just don't want yourself there, don't you want to?
No, just the URL, and I'll email to you the URL, and then you type it in, and they see it on YouTube, you understand?
No, what I want right now, what I want right now, I want.
And magic is what it's set up.
That you feel when people are talking, that you feel the experiences, turn it around.
I will turn it
Yeah,
on, right
just
now
for-
it's just the 7.
Yeah, just a setup.
Everything will be turned,
I have
around.
questions, you know, and then I think.
in fact, I'll turn it around already now.
Yeah. and then you start.
No, this is going to,
Curious how it would-
No, but you wanted to film
Now I know
this,
that.
fine, so we turn it on,
turn it on.
not the cloud.
Okay, so we got.
What time is it now?
I don't know.
So put the linear going and turn on the phone.
What it.
Don't aggravate.
Now now you know what to look for.
Let's go, there's no trash talk.
To see, you know, from afar. There and then all of a sudden I saw.
And I just think-
I mean, was it like, well, what's in all this in Microsoft? Wow, how'd she get there? So did you? It was my network. So when I was at Magic Leap, I had done this whole, employee resource group, I had.
Yeah.
Get everything, did you get it on?
And so when they let us go.
You're ready to go? You-
Yes,
They shut.
but I need to put the page.
What? Yeah, what about it? You have it.
Yes, it's there.
Okay.
Long story. In that process, I'm like.
They start-
Yeah,
Instantly posted a little-
So it uses its own.
so maybe move your thing. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, just turn it around. Yeah, perfect. No, but you want to show the screen.
We'll
too.
turn everything around depending on the situation.
4 hours.
Okay, perfect. Great.
He and I started.
I know, I can see.
I just can you take a picture with the speaker?
So when they, so she was reading, and we were reading, somebody who had something like.
Oh, you come back and meet you. You got a deep shot.
Compensation and called me and spoke about.
And then,
All right.
see you at the.
Happy hour, happy hour.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, you having the right, you're set up?
Get started.
No, we're gonna start with you.
Cables here. There's issues with the cable.
Okay, right, you need a
He
good
is
shot.
such a special person.
Right. And it's like you're in
In the zoo.
in the Zoom. May the source be with you. huh?
So to be with you.
Okay, so did you get the back screen?
Not yet, I'm going to turn it back.
Okay, folks, we're gonna get started. I think we gotta.
Yeah.
We'll talk. They don't have
I'm
you
doing
start
a
talking.
there.
Okay, Patricia, thank you for stopping by. And
We'll see you in the happy hour.
happy hour. Happy hour. Okay, all right, folks, what?
Flashlight is on.
Oh, my flash is on. I'm just all flashing everywhere, right? I'm flashing all the time. Okay, welcome, folks. Good to see you all. And other people are coming. We have a jam-packed session here. what we always like to do every year at the SoFlo DevCon is to do a show and tell. Kind of basically imagining what is going to be in the future. I'm Dr. Sarah Rushenick, and I'm a professor at the University of Miami in business technology and health informatics. So I'm in the business school, and I'm also in the medical school, helping folks in the medical school bring their research to product. I'm working with a number of startups to Fortune 500, giving them mentoring and advice. So what I always like to do is bring an interesting group of people together. And that's what we have today. And we'll do show and tell. Will everything work? We were happy to have an hour early just even to set up. And you know it's not, but we'll work it together.
I'm
So-
going to occasionally talk to my device, so ignore me. I'm just talking to the computer on my head.
So this is Dr. Avi Rushenick, and we basically are a crazy couple that test out.
Navigate
everything.
home,
And this
my
is,
camera,
and this is basically
Oh.
that you can think about.
record video. Flash on. Doesn't work, you see?
Try again.
Flash on.
Flash-
Sometimes you have to have a second of silence so you differentiate between regular chat and commands. Flash off.
So this is a device that we're testing out, and we're basically prototyping from realware that basically out in the field.
It's called the head-mounted tablet. It's a full computer running Android,
And
but command-driven, so hands-free. You can connect to it a keyboard and a phone, but it can operate completely hands-free off of your head and broadcast live to YouTube Live, which we are doing now. And this is iView. This is a video camera glasses that do the same thing that is much like Google's Glass, but more updated technology.
And this can also be an instance of Zoom. So here you can be on a Zoom call, whatever the remote worker or anyone else sees, you can see, you can bring in experts from around the world. Let's say here we're at FIU, you remember that bridge that collapsed, the idea that you can do anything real time, hurricane. We're working with the city of Coral Gables in the idea of permitting, inspections. Remember in Miami Beach, the collapse, it's basically now, how do you get people to basically come in that are experienced? We don't have enough experienced people. So when they go out for permitting, you can have experts around the world see what that person's seeing. Also, inside here is basically another computer, so you can get all the manuals you need. And what's the next step? What do you think? The next step is what? To add intelligence to it, to add basically AI, like you were talking about. Even I overheard you, Colin, talking about people out in the field and being able to, what was that, in refrigeration? What was that? Air conditioning, basically. You got these guys out in the field and think about dangerous times. So these are areas in which we're discovering, and we basically have at the university, we have a demo lab that we try out different hardware, software, where it's going in AI. So just to give you a sense of, we only have an hour together, but you know what I love in it? It's the last hour, happy hour, we can continue our conversations with a drink. So anytime we'll bring that in too. So I have with me, I have Dr. Avi Rushenick, and he is in the area of also technology and also in forensic accounting. That's why we had in the terms of AI job forensic and remote. I have also with us Colin, who is a PhD student in computer science at the University of Miami. That's also working with a compliance firm, security firm. I also have Carlin Gomez, who's working with us in the labs on small language models. The idea of small language models, how you're going to train it, have some more security, that you don't have to be exposed in the beginning to other sources. And then I have my partner in crime, Denise, who's working for Microsoft, looking at, what is it now called?
Spatial Copilot.
Spatial Copilot. Everybody's heard of Copilot, right? So Microsoft, any type of product they have, let's put Copilot into it as well. And I've anchored, what is your last name? Flores, and he's with Grant Thornton, looking at compliance, having a mathematical background and looking at risk. So you see here, what we're giving you like a taste here for it. So in this case, if you wanted just to.
I
give that
send you
person-
by email the URL for YouTube, the live broadcast
Yeah.
link, which if she can log into her YouTube
Yeah, well, we're gonna.
or
have to
into
find-
her email. If you
Yeah.
can log into your email, just click it so they can see the live
This
broadcast.
right now, but.
But
anyway,
later on,
Right, so anyway, basically what we're doing in this case, we're looking at it not only one way of the video. One of the things, have you ever seen the police use body cams? What's the problem with a body cam? I'm walking down, you remember when they invaded, everybody saw that NYU?
look at the university, you
And-
know,
and
you look at
yeah.
it looks like such a mess. Hands, chairs, doors, and you cannot understand anything.
Well, they're only one way, right? What happens when you turn to the side, when you turn in the back? So the idea here of doing remote, we're looking at it, remote video 360 in the inspection is maybe what you need to have then is 360 view. It's the same thing anytime in an emergency situation, if you think about, or even physical situation, you need.
This
that
is
whole
a
room.
360 camera that can broadcast live to YouTube and any other server. The thing that is unique about it, unlike any other camera, it has two lenses. This is the front and this is the back. Inside the camera, it stitches. So when you go to YouTube and see it, you'll be able to click on a remote control and see you, the students. And as you keep clicking on the remote control, you'll see me as an instructor. And if you are looking at it on a cell phone that has the gyro turned on, and when you turn around with your phone, the image will turn around and you'll see the students, the classroom, the ceiling, and the floor, depending how you tilt the phone. I will try to show it to you how it looks from a class that we have done. The idea is to, here in the second slide, this is a string, a search on YouTube, the keywords, and you can do the same thing. You can go to YouTube now. I'm going to click on this hyperlink, one of these hyperlinks, and it should show you our YouTube. I have to have it.
Hit the control and enter.
Control and enter.
Control and enter. Let's see if that will.
Yeah.
So I'm going to YouTube, and what I want to show you how we saturate the top page. This is what we are doing. We are discovering the algorithm of YouTube and how they rank everybody on the World Wide Web. And we are reverse engineering the algorithm so we know how to saturate the first page with our stuff. So this is from our classes. This you can see us, me lecturing, that is with the head. 2020, 4 years ago in this classroom. Now let me explain it to you. When I click on it, you see that we saturate the top positions, the unpaid organic. Now this is me, as you can see, when I click on it, you see there is a remote control here. And I can turn it around and you can see the students.
And it's the same classroom, you see that?
I can turn it up or down, you see the ceiling.
Right in here, yeah.
Now we are doing the same thing. And this is AI, artificial intelligence, combined with SEO to figure out how to push everybody down 10 position and saturate the couple of first pages all with your stuff. And what is the title of today? It is AI job. I'm going to minimize it. When she logs in, you will see it. Now, the focus that we would like to say today, we are talking about the AI job forensic. Forensic is an investigation. In the case of Trump, now there is a criminal investigation of Trump. This Stormy Daniel, was it a criminal event or not? And then eventually it will boil down to having forensic accountant going into the accounting system, which nobody understands as of yet, what exactly were the transactions that they entered, and what is the gap between what they have done and what should have been done. And that gap, what are the damages? And this is where the forensic accountant comes in. So this is a forensic job, and you are a job seeker you want to advertise yourself to saturate the first page. Let's say that you are a software engineer, right? So you want to do, when anybody types software engineering, you want to come in position 1 of YouTube, 2, 3, 4, all the 10 positions, and have a video of yourself do software engineering so everybody can see what you are doing and hopefully hire you. In contrast, the recruiter that has the job to find a software engineer or forensic accounting wants to do the opposite. He wants to search it, and he can use AI for that. So AI for SEO, search engine optimization. That was an example how to top the SERP. The SERP stands for search engine's results page with your stuff. That was a side comment. So go ahead and continue.
So basically, you want to go to the next one and then we'll finish our part and then we'll have
Yes, then we are
Colin come.
using conversational AI, not just any AI. And to understand what that is, I'm going to go to, and you can type it on your own device. We're going to go to callannie.ai. What is it? Control character?
Control enter.
And we are going to start talking to Annie. So you'll understand what is a conversational AI. So I have to authenticate myself.
Okay, that's the problem.
That's the
You know,
problem, that
you
there's
get
anybody
away
else
with
but
it, yeah,
us.
Right.
So Dr. ARush at gmail.com, for example. And this is free, and all of you can do it on your phones right now. You'll get the same results as I do.
Let's see.
And this is the type of AI that we want to have for hands-free, what I showed you before. So you are busy, I'm busy typing, and I can talk to the AI without pressing any keys once I start. Starting with the,
Oh, the chat clock is on.
I have only 500 passwords, so
We'll see.
pray for me that I know which one is the right one now.
We'll see. If not,
Probably won't work, but anyways,
it doesn't work. It's
it
okay.
doesn't work. Do you know your password?
But not in another one. I'm not
He's
sure.
got his caps lock on.
You have your caps locked.
Try it again.
One more time.
Next one. Let me try this one and see if this one works. I think I got to try this time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, turn
so
it
now
on.
they want me to authenticate.
Oh, you'll
Oh,
never finish.
okay.
It's all right. And then you have to go to your phone. No, doesn't worry. I mean, let's move on. We can do it in the break. Because I want to get on the other one.
You have a phone number that you can respond to a text, and I will enter. This phone number has been discontinued 10 years ago.
Okay, so let's.
Anyways, what
yeah.
will happen if you do
Right.
it on your phone, you'll be able to converse with her continuously, unlike clicking the speaker and the microphone and the speaker and the microphone. This starts talking, it doesn't stop.
Mhm.
So this is for everything that we are doing here is mobile, like this, hands-free, conversational, and integrating AI into a forensic job, like as if I was in UCLA or the other Columbia, where they break in and there is total mayhem. Nobody knows what happens. If there is a suicide bomber that is going to blow himself up. So we put a 3 head-mounted devices, body cams, plus 360 camera that shoots everything. So if somebody behind me that, of course, my body cam won't see, is going to bang me with in the back of my head, this camera will catch it, but my head mount and nothing else will not, because it is pointing forward. And then I can talk to Annie in real time, and she's called Annie, and she has a vanity phone number. A vanity phone number is a phone number that is with words translating to digits. Her vanity phone number is 640, call Annie. And if you type it on your phone, it will dial to her, and she will appear on your phone and talk to you and tell you to download the app and continue the conversation.
Hi, Annie. We're here at NSU talking about advances in AI and conversational AI. Yep, do you hear me?
You have to set up a mic because they.
Say
Yeah,
hi.
that's it on mine. She's not in.
Say
Oh,
hi. The
oh,
mic
here.
doesn't work.
Yeah, the mic. Yeah, the mic's not.
Turn the mic on.
Yeah, I did.
Hi, Annie, how are you?
He's not talking to us.
You have to turn on the speaker. Max the speaker. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
There is audio, but she doesn't hear.
There, it's okay.
Anyway, she will tell you what's going on, and then you can go to the call. Here's one of the most important thing, it can translate between 30 languages. So I can speak English, and here Carlos, he speaks Spanish, and he translates in real time. So I hear it in English, and he hears my English in Spanish. And then, most importantly, you see the green button there? That is the history of our conversation. So when you click it, just for them to see, click the green button,
It's not
because it didn't hear, the conversation didn't start. But otherwise, it will transcribe it and translate it in real time. And then you can copy it and paste it to a forensic report. You understand?
So those are just kind of, we can give a whole semester on this. but
We
this
do,
is kind of-
but compress it into 10 minutes, and then we would like to have all our guest speakers, and at the end, we will continue.
So when we think about AI, we think about voice, right? And then, anybody hear about deep fakes? Raise your hand, right? That's what I'm scared of, or later on, they won't need me, right? So it's just all
This is
virtual.
about the equipment, several of
Yeah.
equipment that we use, and I'd like to just go quickly over it. This is, for example, from the government. RVI stands for Remote Video Inspection. So the government gives inexpensive housing to people, and the problem is that the contractors cheat. The residents come in and nothing works. There are sockets in the wall. You plug a tester and there's no power. Why? Because they didn't do the wiring in the back. They put just the plate. You understand? So then the government requires to do a remote video inspection. So an inspector, like an auditor, forensic accounting company, comes and records it and verifies that everything works as it should. And the gap between what it should be and is recorded, estimated, and the repairs are forced before the contractor gets paid. They deliver. So this is an example of the US government that is mandates. You cannot manage the property unless you conducted. Please forgive me about the English. You can translate and repeat it in proper English. But these are all the steps. And here you see the proxy is the resident, because they cannot afford to send a real auditor and engineer. So they use a proxy. This is the engineer sits in Washington, DC. And that is the proxy going around in the
But
house.
what you need is AI to really help you decide what's behind it.
And the proxy that is a resident doesn't know what he's doing. So AI advises him together with the engineer. And imagine to yourself in a high-rise of 100 floors in 100 apartments, 100 residents going at it at the same time. A human expert cannot handle it, but AI can. So all 100 residents proxies can talk to the AI, get advice from the AI, and only when the AI is not satisfying them, you bring in the real expert, which is sitting in Washington and monitor all these hundreds of apartments. So that is an example of a remote video inspection audit. And AR stands for assisted reality. This is assisted reality, unlike augmented reality that she's going to describe, which is a level above. Assisted reality is just taking real video, recording, broadcasting it live, and having a remote expert that we can exchange real-time video and audio. Then we can take the video and integrate it and enhance it further and make it augmented reality. What does it mean? Adding to the video, which is real reality or assisted reality, objects that do not exist in the reality, and integrate them into the video, so the viewer of the augmented reality or the virtual reality will see not only this room, but also virtual objects such as an animal, a dog running in here, or whatever is relevant. So that concludes our quick and dirty.
It's definitely quick and dirty. Colin. So, yeah. So, Colin, while you're setting up, do you want to, first of all, is there any questions before we get Colin to set up? Anything that anyone has, comments that you have? Yes.
You have all this, you're requiring a person. Have you thought about putting this kind of stuff on like a robotic or a dog? There's like a dog, I can't think of the name of the company that makes it.
Boston Dynamics.
Boston, going out, it's almost, sometimes they also even do it, you see those robots going out to check for a bomb, right? I don't want to be going into a dangerous situation beforehand.
That's
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do. This is why we came here. Besides the person that is sleeping, we are interested in working with you. If you have any ideas, for example, there is a robot in downtown Miami Beach that walks around and gives drives around and gives information. I don't know if you saw it, but if you go downtown, you'll see some kind of a robot running around. Sometimes they deliver newspapers and so on. We are looking for projects to test all this
Basically in our demo lab.
technology in this demo lab.
Thanks. Okay, Helen, you're on.
Awesome.
Or really, this is like a quick Shark Tank almost, we have 7 minutes and we'll continue, yeah.
Perfect. So we just saw lots of ways we can use AI in forensics to go and find the bad guys. I'm going to talk about how are the bad guys actually using AI. So to give you guys just a little context on who I am, I'm a cyber and crypto consultant at Protect, and I've been there for the last 5 years. And I've worked with law enforcement, individuals, and businesses trying to track cyber fraudsters and make arrests on cyber fraudsters. I'm also a PhD student at and from that, I've published a couple of papers on AI and how we're using AI to detect cybercrime, and I've developed tons of AI models, phishing, cyber attacks, malware, and cryptocurrency scams. So just so that we all have the same idea of what I'm talking about when we're talking about AI, AI is a very broad term and it's been around for years, right? You guys have probably been using AI since like 2007, right? You get your Roomba out, that's an AI, right? It replicates human action, right? Vacuuming, the Roomba is an AI. So a level deeper than that, machine learning, well, now this is a little more complicated. Right now, we're thinking tools we use like business analytics, right? Your Excel spreadsheets probably have some basic machine learning built in. The new stuff, deep learning, new 2012, we started getting deep learning. It's using deep neural networks so that we can actually do more complicated tasks. And the things that have been kind of in the news recently are these generative AI models. So these ChatGPTs, these stable diffusions, things that are generating new things that are generating text, things that are generating voice, things that are generating images, and things that are generating video, right? So video kind of combines the previous 3. So how are fraudsters actually using AI? What are they doing? So as a fraudster, the first thing they're going to do is identify who their target is. So I'm going to pick who I'm going to attack, and I'm going to figure out how I'm going to. So once I know who I want to attack and what information I want to gain from them, I'm going to perform open source intelligence and identify as much information about you as I can. So there's millions of tools out there that let me scour the internet and find out everything that I can about you. So one of my favorite tools to use, you guys have probably all used this hacker tool. It's called LinkedIn. If you go to that, you can see where a person works, what their job function is. You can see what technologies they use. You can see who else works with them, who their boss is, right? So LinkedIn is one of my favorite places to go to try to do these kinds of social engineering. Once I've done that, once I've done my open source intelligence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create attack models so that I can go and attack that victim. So if I go on your LinkedIn, I see who your boss is, who your who's in charge of accounting, right? I might go and try to make models that simulate these people, right? So I might try to pretend to be your boss, pretend to be the head of accounting, pretend to be the head of HR. And I'm going to start messaging you, contacting you as that person. And I'm going to use these models to make it look like I really am that person. So once we have our models, we're going to go ahead and execute those attacks, right? So that's the actual contacting. And typically fraudsters are going to come at you from multiple vectors, right? I'm not going to just try one thing and say, oh, well, I tried my best, I'm done. These are sophisticated actors. They're going to come at you from multiple angles using multiple different things, right? You might get phone calls, you might get emails, you might get texts, you might get messages on LinkedIn, right? Messages on other platforms. They're going to come at you from any way that they can. And once they've done that, well, they're done with you. They've gotten whatever information they wanted from you. They're going to go repeat and find another victim and do the same thing over and over again. And AI speeds up this process, right? So before, fraudsters had to spend lots of time trying to find out information on you. Fraudsters had to spend lots of time figuring out how they're going to attack you, right? Before AI, it was really hard to go out there and pretend to be somebody else, right? You would hear me on the phone and say, that's not what my boss sounds like. You would see a text and you say, that's not how my boss sends text, right? That's not normal. But now it's really easy with this generative AI to create these models and do these attacks in minutes. So again, I had mentioned open source intelligence. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but I just want to highlight there's millions of tools out there. This is the open source intelligence framework on the right there. And you can see there's just a ton of links. You click on these and it comes up with a million different tools, and you can use each of those tools. They're all free, open source. It's not something you need specialized knowledge to do, right? Anyone can go and perform this open source intelligence on you and figure out key people in your life, key things that you do. They can build a profile about you using open source intelligence. And like I said, LinkedIn's my favorite one, right? We all use LinkedIn and it has so much information on us. It's a little scary.
Quick comment.
Yeah.
You get those random text message, oh, hi, this is so-and-so.
Yeah.
And the other day, I'm like, I started messing with them and it's like, oh, isn't this Denise? And
Yeah,
I'm like, how the hell do they know that it's me? I have my phone number on LinkedIn.
that's how they know.
Damn.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is easy,
Be
Facebook's
careful.
easy.
So what would you say, Colin? Everybody has LinkedIn. It's almost like you're a
Yeah.
pariah if you don't, right? So what do you suggest they don't put into their LinkedIn?
For sure, addresses, phone numbers, emails, right? Ways to contact you are bad. I would also make sure I audit my own LinkedIn all the time to make sure I know what's on there, right? Know what information's out there. And just because somebody knows a certain piece of information doesn't mean that they know you, right? If I can look it up on your LinkedIn profile, it's not a good identifying piece of information, right? So it's important to know, one, what kind of information's out there. It's useful if you guys want, I would pull up this OSINT framework and go through some of these tools and type in your information, and you'll be shocked at how much of your data is out there. It is very easy to find phone numbers. It's very easy to find social media accounts. It's very easy to find addresses of people using these tools. So one, if you can, try to get your information scrubbed. You can do that by contacting all these data brokers. It's a little bit of a pain. I spent a couple hours doing it. You have to just sit down and do it, send emails and get yourself off the internet. And two, know what information you have that's out there. So moving on, what I really want to talk about is voice cloning, using real-time voice cloning, V2, which is the latest voice cloning models. What I want to show is it's not that hard to do this, right? So I did this on my desktop. I have a pretty basic NVIDIA GPU. I recorded myself speaking for 3 minutes, but you can train models with as little as 10 seconds of audio. So if any of you are recording this, you guys can go and take my voice and do whatever you want with it now, right? The more time you put into it, the longer the video, the better your model is going to be. And so there's two ways we can clone voices. So we can do speech to speech, where somebody talks to a microphone and it's going to take my cadence, my emphasis on words, and translate that into another voice. Or we could do text to speech, where I type in some text and it tries to guess what the cadence and rhythm of speech is and generate a voice based on that. So I have a couple voice samples. I'm going to play them and we're going to play which ones are real and which ones are fake. So I'm going to start with these top two. So these top two are going to be former President Trump speaking. I'm going to play both of these and we're going to guess which one of these is actually President Trump and which one is a AI model.
Today I stand before the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made.
So that was the first one. I'll play the second one.
Today, I stand before the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we made.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's guess. How many think the first one is Trump? How many think it's real?
It's real?
It's real.
It's real.
The first one is.
The second one is fake.
So I've set you up. They're both fake.
Yeah.
So the first one was speech to speech. So the first one was actually me.
Today I stand before the.
So this was my recording.
General Assembly
And the top one
to
was,
share the extraordinary progress we've made.
and so the top one, you can hear
Today I stand
it copies
before
my
the United
cadence.
Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made.
And then this is the
Today,
text to
I
speech.
stand
And you can
before
hear
the-
it's a little more robotic. It doesn't understand the cadence. It doesn't understand how a human really talks. So why would I use text to speech if it's not as good? The benefit is it's a lot quicker. So when we're doing these social engineering, when I'm trying to do AI, using AI to do phishing, what I'll do is I'll start with a speech to speech of my target and try to get the start of a conversation going, right? If I want your passport number, I'm going to call as your assistant. I'm going to say, hey, I'm having trouble getting your flight booked. Could you just repeat your password number to me real quick? And I'll do that as speech to speech. So it's gonna sound more normal, more human. Then you're gonna say whatever you're gonna say. And then to continue the call, I need to be quick. So I'm gonna start using text to speech, which is a lot quicker, and I'll say shorter things. I'll say, yeah, that sounds great, or yes, no, right? Things that try to not let you pick up that I'm using AI. So I'm gonna play another set. So these three are actually, I trained my voice. So I just sat down, I recorded myself for 3 minutes and fed that to a model. I'll tell you this time, one of them is real, two of them are fake. So one of them's speech to speech and one of them's text to speech.
So what are we gonna try to distinguish?
So listen for artifacts. So you'll hear in both of the fake ones, there's gonna be a distortion almost. And that's one of the easiest ways to tell. It can be really hard to tell in real time though. If you're sitting on a phone call and you hear these distortions, it can be really hard to tell. So I'm gonna play these. So I had a friend of mine record 2 sentences on like fraudsters. I recorded the same 2 sentences and I fed the same 2 sentences to a text-to-speech model. So let's see if we can tell which one's me and which one's not.
Fraudsters can exploit real-time voice cloning technology to impersonate individuals, potentially deceiving others into believing they are communicating with someone trustworthy by replicating voices with precision.
So I'll go to the next one. So that was sample 1.
Okay,
Fraudsters can exploit real-time voice cloning technology to impersonate individuals, potentially deceiving others into believing they are communicating with someone trustworthy.
So that was sample 2.
yeah.
Fraudsters can exploit real-time voice cloning technology to impersonate individuals, potentially deceiving others into believing they are communicating.
Okay, so now we gotta decide which one is real.
Which one's real? So one of them actually is real this
How
time.
many people think one is real?
Yeah, let's see. Hold up numbers. We can do that.
Okay.
Number 1,
How many
Number-
think 2 is real?
2, lots of 2s. Number 3.
I think 3.
I think it's a trouble, right?
No, so actually number 2 was me speaking. So number 2 was real. Number 1 was speech to speech. So I had my friend record something and I translated it into my voice. And number 3 was the text to speech.
What was the consensus here?
It was tied kind of. I think we had more 2s, but there was a lot of 3s as well, which I found
And I think when you're on the phone with someone.
it's a lot harder.
I'm saying, first of all, you're not depending on it. 2, you know how it's a lot of times you have background noise,
Yeah.
it's not a good connection. So it really, you're not even it's not even in your mind to think of that, you know?
Yeah,
Plus, you're not hearing the comparison of the 3.
you're not hearing
Right,
back-to-back
right.
voices.
You're
Exactly.
getting one of,
And
Yeah.
like with cell phones, you're running that through a completely different codec. It's way smaller, way thinner. There's a lot more background.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound the
Right,
same.
you're out on the walkway.
Yeah, and the voice caller ID that nobody's supposed to use as identification has his number.
And that's what I was. Exactly.
Shortcut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the takeaways I hope we can all take away from this is just because you're getting a phone call and it looks like I'm calling you and it sounds like I'm on the other end, that does not mean that I am calling you and I am on the other end, right? We need to be careful in our modern AI world, right? It's very easy to trick people with these.
Fraudsters can exploit real-time fraudsters.
Oh, gosh.
No.
So, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but what I want to emphasize is to build these models took me 20 minutes of time, right? I downloaded some code on the internet, ran it on my computer, and it has this nice and easy to use web GUI. I clicked a couple buttons, right? You don't need to be Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, right?
We don't need a PhD in computer
Exactly,
science.
right? Anyone can go and build these models with relative ease, right? It takes 5 minutes of your time to download them, another 5 minutes to do a recording, and then spend 10 minutes fine tuning it to get it exactly how you want it to sound. So it's really easy to do these things. So how do we prevent these threats? Well, like we just said, a person's text, image, and voice are no longer enough to identify them, right? There's a scene from the movie Terminator where he's on the phone with his mom, and you hear in the background a dog barking. And the kid goes to his mom, he says, "Hey mom, is everything okay with Willie?" or whatever the dog's name is. And mom goes, "Yeah, everything's okay with Willie." And then the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, hangs up the phone and goes, "That's not your mom." Because the dog's name wasn't Willie, right? So when you're on the phone with someone, if you need to identify them, right? If they're asking you to do something like make a financial transaction, ask you for sensitive information, right? Something that you wouldn't expect them to always be doing. Have some kind of way to communicate with that person to verify their identity, right? So one thing I like to suggest is have a verbal password, right? So when I'm on the phone with you, I can say, hey, what's the password? And either you know it or you don't. Another one is ask questions about them like, hey, what were we doing this morning when we were in the office? Or, yeah, sure, I can give you my passport number, but can you just remind me, who's my daughter, right? Ask them things like that, things that that some kind of hacker probably wouldn't know, or certainly wouldn't know off the top of their head, right? Ask something that only that person you're talking to would know.
Like say keyword.
Yeah.
Or call them back.
And yeah, if you hang up and call back is always the best option, because if it looks like I'm calling you and you call back, well, it's not gonna call back to me, it's gonna call back to the real person. So the callback's always a good one. The other thing we're doing for companies is we're doing simulated phishing using AI. So we're sitting down with top executives where we clone one of their voices and we'll call the other executives and train them, right? It's important that people see how this technology is actually being used and learn from their mistakes. It's easy to make a mistake when you're getting a phone call that sounds like somebody you know is on the other end. And the last thing we suggest is performing training annually, right? It's important to stay up to date on these threats. Not just us in this room, but like all of the employees. If one employee at a company makes a small mistake, accidentally wires money because the CEO told him to make a wire, it can be pretty devastating to that company. So it's super important that we're going through annual training, and not just regular training. We have to be training on the latest threats.
And only wire a penny until you make sure it's the right person.
Exactly. So that's all I have to talk about. I know we have a lot of other speakers, but I want to know if anyone has any questions at the
Any
moment.
comments? Well, first of all, I want to thank Colin for coming, really. Let me come and do it. It's almost like I tell my students that they all be underneath the mattress and then we'll be okay with no internet. Okay, thank you. Do you want to start? Let me ask a question here. How many people are programmers in here? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Carlos, so we're gonna keep it high level. Okay, one of the things that I have with Carlos, we met at an Oracle session, and he is a great programmer and really is trying to get into AI. So one of the things that we're looking at are, everybody's heard about
Building local host off the grid AI that will work when you want it on your device. So that means on my phone and on my laptop, and when I want to open it to the World Wide Web, I can do so. But if I don't, it's not needed. It is a small model. And it will minimize hallucination by putting several of them together, talking to each other, and having AI to AI conversation and reaching a consensus about among multiple AI, such as Gemini and Annie.
So we'll give it.
How many of you have used ChatGPT? How many of you think it is very smart?
I'm gonna go on with it. Me.
Well, recently, the open source community, after seeing what ChatGPT can do, they constantly been trying to make their completely open source models. They have released models like V3, like Mistral. I don't know if you have heard, just the same of ChatGPT's differences in how they're designed, but the same goal. You input text, you get text out. So these guys from Olama.
And Olama is a small model of Llama.
Olama is like an engine to run these models, and you can run it locally without minimum dependencies. That's mean like as you run an Excel sheet on your computer, you can just run a language model on your computer. Of course, it's not as smart as ChatGPT, but depending on the application, it might do the work. So after Olama is installed, you can just query it from the command line. You put the model that you want, and you can start asking questions like we'll do with ChatGPT.
5.3 is a model that was just released. For
What?
small models.
Why would you wanna go to a more smaller model rather than just Chat GPT?
Because you want to run it on your cell phone and you don't want anybody in the world to see the information because it is exclusively about you, a personal AI with all your medical problems and all your cancers and all, who knows what you have. And if you have Versace, which was a patient at the University of Miami, some smart employee of the university decided to sell to the public that he has HIV. And that became a huge scandal because he didn't want the world to know that he has HIV. So this will prevent it. You can seal it, it will run only on the local device. Nobody from the outside, unless you give it explicit permission,
Excellent
will have
question.
access. And also, your database of all your personal belonging and issues will never match the World Wide Web. So it doesn't need to be so smart and so humongous to handle the whole world.
And a lot of times you just want to train it on your own data. Right now you get Chat GPT, it's not on your data. You'll have it small and then you can do a larger.
And 100% secure. Nobody will be able to reach it unless you explicitly open it to the worldwide, then it's up to you.
Let's say, all right. So what happens sometimes you have your personal information that you don't want to be exposed. And if you're a company, you also have your IP, your intellectual property. That's one of the things like, yeah, if you upload your intellectual property to the cloud, yes, they say they will not use it to train the models, but it can get exposed, it can have a leak. And if you have your complete interface all within your, let's say, local servers, you can run these models and you can even run them on your PC. And you can even make the model go through different documents and text and help you with it. So for example, just to demonstrate what can be done with this model, Olam. Olam is just an engine to run the models. So I use P3, that is open source by Microsoft. They made it smaller, they made it with more curated data. And basically, you run the model from the terminal. So you have a local server, a web server. It's just you go to the browser and you put localhost, it goes automatically there, and you can start asking questions. And you can also, like the first questions that you ask, the model will take them as context to help you make more advanced queries. So let me show you. You will just set up, make it run.
But this could be.
Python code.
And this could be just for like a company going out with their field workers. Remember we talked about Avi wearing that head mount? This could be just for my manuals, just for my training when they're out in the field. Then they could ask questions either using voice or text, and a lot of times using voice. And you could incorporate a small model like that onto a device like that. So you're just training it on that engineer going out remotely. You're training that person on just, let's say, these 3 machines, and that's all. So all you need is a small model, or you want it on a phone, right? And you don't want the world to know about. So it's
another thing, you can make it specialized. Why you want to have it a small model? Because you can make things to it that you cannot make on a large model. For example, let's say that you are not a programmer, but you want it to generate code. The AI can generate the code for you if you set it this way, and you just talk to it in plain English, and in the background, it generates Python code and integrates it the way that you saw here.
Yeah.
But that will enable you, assuming that you're not a programmer, or if you're a programmer, you don't want to code, you talk to it, and it has a program, what is called the program code generator, and it can even display for you a window that you can see as you tell it to do things. You can see the code that it generates in real time, and if you are a programmer, then you can go into the code and edit it. But if you are not, it will run it and will do everything automatically.
So here you're asking, Carlos, hello, give me a list of 2 places to eat sushi in Miami. You could ask that on ChatGPT as well, but here you're asking it in that small model that you're not even exposed to the internet.
And eventually you can train it exclusively on Miami,
Exclusively on your company.
in addition to the general
exclusively
knowledge.
On your documents. That's what companies are now facing. They say, I don't want my data out there in the world. And also, we just want to find out insights about our own information.
So
Okay?
as you can see, I don't have internet in my laptop,
See,
so
there's no internet.
so it's impossible for me to query any internet source. So I even add, let's say, it will be a speech to text model that as you speak, it transcribe it to text and then it input it to the model. So basically, right now it's running completely local. I don't need internet. I can talk to the model. I get answers from the model. And as also I have complete control of the model. If I, let's say I have 1,000 documents that have intellectual property and I want to look at a specific, I can even make a for loop or a query with my model in my PC, protecting my data and using the power of LLMs. For some
Large language models.
yeah,
that everyone
so
knows.
for, let's say, 2 complex tasks that require high intelligence, you, as of right now, you cannot use small language models because they are limited by their knowledge and by their capacities. They are not as smart as, let's say, ChatGPT, even though if your application doesn't need that much of intelligence, it will be like summarization or maybe translation. Maybe you just want to look up a way, a lot of documents, how to summarize and how to retrieve just some simple documents. And right now, there's also been many efforts on something they call RAG, that will be retrieval augmented generation. And that, what will that be?
RAG.
Yeah.
RAG, R-A-G.
So basically, that will be having a bunch of documents in your PC or your servers, which you can apply policies for authorization. Let's say I only want the person A to have capacity to read these documents in this folder. So you can make the model, you make a prompt. There is another system, the RAG system, that would retrieve which documents are more likely to be of interest to this. So if you use a small language model as a, let's say, as a knowledge base, it doesn't have to be that smart. You just need to retrieve the information that you need. So
It's almost customization. Think about it, you know, now in healthcare, has anybody heard about personalization? That will take basically your DNA or will take basically your information and just personalize medicine rather than to another million or 10 million people. So you can think about it, those small language models can be a personalization on certain topics or certain documents. That's how you can kind of think about it. And we're running out of time, Carlos, but that's why we're working with Carlos and others of you that want to work with us on that
Just
end.
maybe just click on the microphone and demonstrate the voice to
yeah, for
text.
sure. Let me take the earbuds because it doesn't.
Yeah.
The Microsoft on my laptop is not the best Microsoft.
So for example,
The Surface laptop?
if I'm
No,
drunk
no,
and I'm talking to you and I'm telling you I'm grabbing women, but you know what, blah, 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 I don't want it to be shared on the World Wide Web. But in my own AI, I can do whatever I want. I can delete it and then I know, oh man, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have it anywhere. So let me delete every record. But
it's
if you
almost
are on
like-
AI, on a Gemini, as soon as you say it,
It's already in the model.
it's already in the model and it is shareable on the World Wide Web. And you said I grab women by
Or even
whatever.
creativity. People are thinking about they're taking my information, they're taking my stories, you know, that's why people are reluctant to share anything. My intellectual property is now going to be taken, and if I'm a musician, my music will be shared when I'm working on it. So let's see if it works.
Then I can take her fantastic music, put my head on it, and use her fantastic voice and create a new video that is like her, but not her. So it's my copyright all of a sudden, which in fact, I just had an AI change it enough, so it's no longer copyright
Okay,
infringement.
let's hear it. Good work.
So take the first place that you recommend me and give me a more extensive summarization.
And this is voice to text,
It will take a bit of time, my laptop is not the fastest.
but you have special laptops with an AI CPU and GPU.
Okay, so let's do it.
You see?
Very much.
So, in the model, I also programmed it to take context from previous prompts. So the first prompt, I give me two places, then I make a reference to the previous prompt. Upon that, so now give me this new task that I give you. After it finish creating the text, I program it to read the text it has created.
And that is a narrator function, where it will take the text even in real time and narrate it as it displays it. So you can be completely hands-free like I am now, and you can talk and converse with the AI on your local device, be it a phone, an iView, video glasses, or a head-mounted tablet from real where.
Also, the voice that you will hear right now is
Sushi Yoko is an esteemed sushi destination situated.
a voice that's running from the browser.
Yeah.
So the voice can run in whichever device, as long as you don't mind having the robot kind of
Yeah, well,
voice.
that
It can run in the browser. If you have a more, let's say, natural voice, you will need another model to also convert the cadence and take all into account.
It's almost like what Colin was reading.
But-
We have one more question and then we need to get on.
Yeah.
Two,
I
here.
wanna ask you a question, hello, that's good stuff, but I understand that that's a language you put into there. But where's the data coming from? Because if it's a small language, where's the data?
Like, where does the sushi, basically like the sushi, where did it get the sushi?
Right, where's the data from?
So, for a small language model,
Yeah,
there are some things that you cannot trust. But as this model specifically, the V3, it was trained on a curated dataset by Microsoft. They trained the dataset using night tale stories from Childs and stuff like that. Basically, when you have a language model, you go to two phases. So the first one is you just gave a lot of text. So it learns first the structure of the text, for example, of English. And then you fine tune it to make a specific task. Let's say you want it for summarization. You just put, let's say, 1,000 examples of an example of a prompt that you gave it, and answer it gets. So basically, if you never in the data set put the information that you want to query, you cannot trust because it's not so mine.
it's almost like a machine learning language.
Yeah.
It is.
It is a machine.
It is
So-
exactly.
You have to train it.
Yeah.
So,
But
you're
it comes
training it from your
pre-trained.
document.
So for example, see this. The language model is like a generalization with math of a knowledge page that you are training the model with. So it cannot do things that you have not trained it.
I got it.
Yeah.
There are some new things, as I told with RAG, that it can read the documents. And for example, let's say you have a business and you have a manual of operation, and let's say one of your employees have a question. The model will get the document with the manual that you put, and now we retrieve the information.
So it's great for human resources. Why do you have to answer the question? Just put all the manuals of human resources there, and then it's specific, like she was saying, it's specific for your company.
Got it.
We just need to move on. Is there one more
Yeah, the question
comment?
is how the data for 5.3, how recent is that, the training?
I mean, the data is at least from 1 month, 2 months.
No,
Because
that's what-
Microsoft just released. Very new.
No, I used Mistral with Olamo and it was 2021.
If you need really
Up to
a faster model, you can also try with Gemma that was released by Google. But it's not, I don't think Gemma is as smart as 5.3. Right now, I really think for a small language models.
And it's basically what they said is, hey, it's so small that we can use it on a phone. We can try it on even a phone. Okay, thank you very much. You could be a couple of weeks, 7, all right, a semester. Okay,
So
Denise.
Sushi Yoko was permanently closed several years ago and it's not on Collins Avenue, it's on Alton Road, which I
See?
checked. So
Say
that
that
model
it
is not
hallucinates
accurate.
you.
It gets old information, so.
This is what GPT is, generative pre-training, which means it was trained before even start messing with it about Miami and some restaurants. So when he got it and installed it, it had also already pre-trained knowledge, and then the transformation occurs when you add to it even more knowledge related to him.
If you wanna deploy the same system, I make a GitHub repo. It has a README file with instructions on how to solve this specific repos, this specific program that I made. If you want, after the presentation, I can help you install it. I have no problem. It doesn't need a GPU to run. It can run on CPU, just it's a little bit slower. And it will need at least, I don't know, like 32 gigas of RAM, kind of a little bit less, but
Also, another factor that is very important is the voice to voice. So you have Carlos with the Latin accent, I'm with the Hebrew accent. We all speak English, but nobody can understand anybody else's accent. This is where the voice to voice comes in, because the voice speaks in American accent, so all of you can understand the accent of the narrator or the text to voice, and then everybody understands everybody.
So we'll do a shortened version, Denise.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll take like
Yeah.
4 minutes. So all these language models, they're word calculators.
Denise,
Oh, yeah.
Introduce
Denise
yourself.
Mendez, I'm a principal software engineer at Microsoft, working on mixed reality devices.
This is similar to this, but different.
This is pretty much still best in class software hardware for what its capabilities are. It's a mixed reality, which means it takes a bunch of sensors in, it dumps a bunch of data in, and it allows you to interact with holograms in front of you. So it's not just an input system like some of the stuff that Avi has been sharing with you, but it can interact physically with the content and speech wise. You can interact with voice and text and all the other things. We're integrating Copilot into it, so now it'll be the eyes and ears of AI will be devices like this. We've been talking about these word calculators, which are these large language models, ChatGPT, Bard, etc. Right? Copilot. It takes a bunch of data, but this is data that already exists, data that is on the internet.
Slide.
Yeah.
I always like this slide.
This is data that already exists, data that's on the internet, and now that people know that their data is getting stolen, artists' data is getting stolen and taken and repilfered, and now being smushed together to create other art. People are going to bring their data back locally. So the stuff that Carlos is talking about, this is what's going to happen. And we talked about CPUs and GPUs, and Avi also mentioned what are AI processing units. They're called, Google calls it the tensor, the TPU. The NPUs, NVIDIA and Intel are coming out with NPUs. These are neural processing units. So what Carlos was doing on a really crappy computer, because it has a bad, it's not a certain.
That's a good point. So
You
it can run on
gotta
your
dig at
computer.
Microsoft. No, I'm kidding. When I say crappy computer, it's not a high-end graphics card, $5,000 computer, but he can run one of these large language models on it. But the data is just going to get more complicated, right? When you talk about these other computers that we have, which are called spatial computers, the drone technology, mixed reality, your cars are all collecting all of this data, but now this data is images, which are 4K of images. It has IMU data that streams at 1,000 hertz per second. It has 12 cameras at 30 hertz per second. You're talking about a ton of data that you want to take advantage of that data. I still dream of the day where I can send the kids around the house with a pair of glasses, and instead of them asking me where they left their cleats in the morning and where their jersey is, they can ask the AI, because the AI has mapped the whole entire house, and I don't have to be the mommy vision anymore at the house. But these are all spatial computers, but I don't want that data going to anybody. I don't want that data on somebody else's cloud, sitting on somebody else's server. I mean, freaking Colin just scared the crap out of me with what he shared, which is fantastic. Sorry, I don't know if that's PC or not. But there's a lot of awesome things going on, but also scary things. But, you know, being aware of this is why you guys are here, right? So these new devices, these guys are what's going to feed the foundation models, and those foundation models will actually run on your devices. They'll run locally on your computers in your house, isolated to you to keep your data privacy. And they'll give you all these wonderful things that we're getting out of ChatGPT, right? And so like all these things are going to be merged. You know, we've got this wonderful new search engines, all these, what Bard and ChatGPT are is a fantastic search. It is like Google search, like for me, Google was the best search engine, you know, on the planet until about a year ago, right? Now I can't even use Google anymore. Their search is so awful. It doesn't give me the data that I want. And I go to Copilot or I go to Bing to use their search engine, which is fantastic. It's actually, if you go to copilot.microsoft.com or you go to Bing and use the Copilot search, which is available to everybody, you're using the latest language models, because we have the only server farm large enough to train the language models, the 5.3, as you mentioned as well, right? And these things, bringing it back to Avi's original, you know, questions is, these are going to be used for remote inspection, architecture and surveying. I did a little satellite images that are already there. These things are that they're taking pictures, satellites are taking pictures of our houses on a daily basis. Every time they pass by, snap, snap, snap. They got everything. They know where our cars are. Cameras are all over the place. I did a little, with a drone, I took pictures of my house. I stitched those pictures together and locally did a photogrammetry using a large language model to make a 3D version of my house that actually can go onto a little metaverse and walk around my little house. But that's a quick like introduction to all of these technologies and wrapping them together. And now, Angel, I'm handing it back to you.
Angel, and now Angel's gonna tell us the challenges.
I want to hear
Only 1 minute.
the challenges that
Right.
Angel has to share.
And
And if you have questions, happy to.
Denise is always like partners in crime, Denise. Anytime she can come and help us, we appreciate it.
And by the way, you see, when my internal battery has been exhausted, this is a special USB-C cable that turns red and blue to show you that it's drawing power from the external battery. So that is how I know that I drained the internal battery and I'm using an external power bank that is already 3% full and 25% drained.
Okay, you're on.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Well, maybe I have 2 minutes.
And you have more.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna start it. The beauty is there wait for us, because I'm so excited.
We'll continue in the happy hour.
Yes.
So you
Well-
want to just give a background of you on the.
Well, maybe,
Just
many
tell
of
me who
you
you
know
are.
about the background. Well, I'm a mathematician. I currently studying my PhD in advanced statistics, some of neural networks, the core, how does it work, the networks and all about these things. And so I want to talk about challenges, the main challenges for the next 5-10 years. Well, here is the difference between non-classical algorithm and the neural networks. How does it work? What is powerful? The new concept of working with neural networks. And well, we have nodes. We send information to the neurons, and we have an output. So if you have an input, you have an output. That's the main challenge to train the neural network. And so we can do it many things right now, as you can see with my previous speakers. Well, a little example about the difference between an algorithm. If you program a classical algorithms to make the calculation between Fahrenheit and Celsius, well, you have the formula, you program it, that's easy. You have a neural network. How can you use? You need data, you need input and output. You have a collection or a set of data, and you can train the network instead of having an algorithm. Well, we need data quality, train the neural network, and use it for the purpose that was designed. And well, I think with this slide, I'm going to keep a summary related to the challenge. What's the difference between artificial and us? Well, as you saw, well, they can recognize patterns, accumulate knowledge, feelings, maybe, but it's different. If the computer doesn't have a skin, a physical brain, you don't have specific feelings, as we know the definition about the sentiments or feelings or passions. And the main difference is the creativity. And that, I think, is the main challenge for the next generation. Well, for the current generation, because we are now accustomed to have all in our phone. We don't need to think about problem solving, about nothing. We have
We were robots.
yes, we are robots. So it's the main challenge for the next generation, because we are, as I said, accustomed to have an easy life. So we need to transform the way that we study in the classical classrooms. We need to challenge to the pupils, to the persons, in order to make really problem-solving persons. That is the main challenge for the current and the next generation. So here I have some pros and cons related to this topic. Well, with a lot or a big data outside or in the web, we can solve almost any problem in healthcare, in astronomy, in any problem that we have. We only need data, and we can solve it through neural networks structures. So, as I said before, our main challenge is to become a problem solvers persons if we want to survive for the next jobs, for the next professions. We need to move forward that stage in order to be capable to have a job. So maybe I can finish because we are on time.
But in general, let me ask you, in general, what is your challenge, let's say even Grant Thornton in using AI? You have all the mathematical.
Grant Thornton is
you
one
have
of the
high
largest CPA firms.
Yes.
Abilities, right? You know how to use machine learning. Where are you getting stuck in AI? You understand? We're always using AI thinking to solve a problem. My question, and bringing in you here, is you know how to run machine models, you know how to run machine learning. It can answer a number of our questions, but where do you find that you're getting stuck?
What is your challenge going forward?
What questions now can you not be answered in AI? And I'll give you an example. When my students, you know, they'll use now AI to do some PowerPoints. And I know now that the PowerPoints that we have, I know that they're correct in English, that they're spelled correctly, but when I read it, it makes no sense. You know, it is in that soup, or when I'm even reading a paper that they've done with AI, sometimes I'm pleased that I know that all the grammar is correctly, but when I read it, I know it's been generated by AI and it's very superficial of it's very superficial of what it has. So my question, this is in terms of just an instructor, but in terms of you're looking at risk for the company.
Yes.
Your goal, your department in Grant Thornton is what?
Yes, I'm working for anti-money laundering.
Anti-money laundering, and wonderful that we're in Miami,
So,
we're
yes.
capital of that, okay?
Yes,
I can go down Brickland, I see anti-money, I can see money laundering everywhere, okay? So I don't even need an AI, I just go like this bank, right?
well,
This high-end auto dealership, let me just stand in front of that, right?
yes, but yes, you have models, you have a lot of data to understand patterns
Right.
because you have to understand who are
Yeah.
making bad bad behavior. So with the current information, you can identify them. But there are new ways, new tools, new mechanisms, and so you need to improve your algorithms. You need to improve your neural networks because even if you don't know it, you are
Behind.
yes, you are behind. So you need to understand the new ways, the new technology.
And are you
Yes.
using it? Is
Yes.
that quite a big push in your
Yes.
company?
Yes, that's right.
And what do you do? And you're specifically, let me ask you, and this goes back to the small language model. Grant Thornton, you have certain clients, right? That you
Yeah.
won't work on. Are you now trying to take their data and give them insights on their data? See if they're in compliance? Are you doing that as well? Is that kind of like the beginning stages?
No, no. Well, we have several departments and well, related to
Money laundering.
money laundering and model risk. We have currently our trained neural networks, but we need to, as
Keep
I
on
said,
going.
yes, keep on mainly for the main banks because we work for several banks in USA and in Mexico.
And
Yes, so we are training our current algorithm.
So the idea would be that a banker then, when a new customer comes in, the neural net will say, there's a 95% probability
Yes.
that this is.
You have
not
an initial
legitimate?
probability, yes.
Is that how it
But
works?
but transactional, yeah.
So I read all this, right? I know about money laundering, but this is very interesting to me, but one of the things that doesn't pop out, which is the first thing I think about AI. Security, privacy, theft of information, stealing my house, stealing my income, stealing my name, steal. I don't see anything positive. And none of this is listed here about like all of that security. But when I look at the cons, I'm curious why that's not.
This is where you can have a local model, you understand that.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that part, but
Yeah.
I don't see the
No,
cons. up
she's
here.
saying that she doesn't see the cons of my.
All I see about wealth distribution and other things, and I don't see the major thing, like, I literally won't have, and I'm in the IT industry, I won't have Alexa in my house. Because of all this. stuff
Listening to
going
you
on.
all the time.
Yeah, no
Yes.
thanks. But I don't see it as a con, I'm curious why it's not listed, is it?
No, well, it's not exhaustive. It's not.
Yeah.
The only thing we understand is if we want to have the life easy, you need to put your data in the web. So if you put your data there, you receive a lot of benefits. But the risk is that anybody with elemental or basic understanding related to these topics can, as my previous colleagues told, they can get.
Like,
That's why
I
I
think-
don't leave my
no,
goals.
no,
I
but-
don't leave my goals now, like real hard goals.
No,
Like,
but listen to
other things
that one statement by, Jody came in, late, that one statement of what you used to
That
be
was
able to.
discovered before
With
you came.
LinkedIn, just use that one statement, just say that out loud again.
So I think, are you referring to my favorite hacking tool,
Yeah.
LinkedIn?
His favorite hacking tool, Jody, is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Yes, but that's what we're saying. Yeah, one more.
No, I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I think she brings a good point, and
Yeah.
he has it in there with respect to laws. I think this model, this data gathering,
Right.
using as intelligence and use algorithm to.
Right.
It's gonna be hurting people as well, so there should be laws. Sufficient laws to protect your privacy and ensuring that this sort of intelligence does not go to bother people.
Right, so
I
it
think
should be
that's
under the
the
cons.
point.
My point is, it should be under the cons.
Right, it should be in the point, putting the
And
security,
it should be
protecting
like-
people
Yeah,
by law.
right.
Not, because right now it's so open. That, like you said, they can go into LinkedIn and get the model and use your information against you. So where's the law protecting you?
But even if there is a law, enforcement is another story.
Yeah.
And that's the idea, that's the idea.
You can have all the laws, as long as they don't enforce them.
Ahead of us, and when they're basically, kind of what he was doing also was with the crypto, right? Of trying to find out along the way who's in the Bitcoin and basic coercion, right? And extortion, right? Go find them.
But wouldn't
And
that
what
be
we
one of
try-
the top challenges, is like you just said, is, and what you just said, if you're looking at this list, what I would say, is I would add a bullet that says.
Yes,
it's
security
Security and
and
holding,
privacy.
and holding people accountable for it.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna summarize it, at least
yeah.
from my point of view. I'm gonna summarize it. We are at the mercy of technology.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And the whole second word is using technology as a weapon
Exactly.
against ourselves.
against ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
What is now that it's really quite, you know, you hear about the Gaza war, you hear about Ukraine, but underneath, we
It's
don't hear
technology.
about, no, but we don't hear about the cyber
Yeah,
wars that
yeah.
are going
Yeah,
on.
it's
And that's much more, you
It's
know,
more
they don't
dangerous,
have-
yeah.
each side doesn't even want to advertise that.
Like the
That I've
people that
had.
are retired and they call and they steal their money, and like what you just said, Avi, okay, now we found out it was something AI. But how do we hold them accountable? So for me, this whole challenge is how do we catch the people? Because they hide behind all these codes and things. So it's not only the privacy and security, but it's finding the culprits and putting them in jail or holding them
Right,
accountable.
so in the past, you used to have guns throwing people, now you're gonna have software and intelligence to
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out where
Yeah.
to start
You
it.
get weaponized
Yeah.
with technology.
You already have it for the drones in Gaza that kill the food delivery services. The Israeli army cannot tell you this is automated autonomous vehicles and they are looking for people. And in nanosecond time, from the time that they detect it, they bomb the car. And unless the car on the roof is marked with night vision image that the drone can recognize and not kill, it is going to be killed in a split second, nanosecond time.
They're
And
all,
Israel cannot tell the world, hey, we have drones running Mach and
AI
killing
was
us.
doing that. They don't even want to say that really AI was doing that. Human being could say, could read world, you know, kitchen center or something.
This is not what a country can say, even though this is what is happening right now in Gaza.
Okay, well, we went through the whole world.
Thank
And
you so
I
much.
enjoyed it, I
Thank
hope you
you.
did,
So let's
really. When we hear there's a happy hour, we'll see you at the happy hour, we'll put
All right.
together a thing, and I wanna
And
thank my
then-
guest speakers. They provided.
After ask for questions and answers, individual speakers. Thank you. We'll see you in the happy hour.
I literally have no protocol now, I will not use that or get out of this phone. I mean.
Hey, did you
Yeah,
meet?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
On or?
Yes.
Oh,
You have a business card?
you have something that you can send me?
Had no, what they allow.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah, guys, do it. I think it's really bad.
It was excellent, great. I'll hear it, I'll hear it, great. You didn't,
I love.
I'm sorry you didn't have enough time. but-
I want an hour of that.
Very nice stuff. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I want an hour of this discussion.
Record video.
Report we spend directly? or-
Yes, we suspend.
Okay.
Flash on.
All right, so this is just a very, like, demo of, just like an interactive.
I like to have a gaming 6900.
Yeah, I know.
It was like 200 now. Okay, there's my so fast. Those are good, by the way.
Mine is a T600, it's mobile GPU. It's not a gaming.
When you're running it, you're running it. You want it?
Yeah, no, it was running. Lama space for Lama CPU.
I know.
So they automatically recognize like how much memory do my.
I know that, but what from your GPU, you run into
Yeah,
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, excellent question. How it really
Yeah.
served everyone.
The font
Yeah, I
curves
was thinking about.
are smart, they're not, these are like sophisticated groups.
And they
that are
want your
spending-
money and I thought about doing.
Exactly.
Which is why you love bank, they love to do it right now.
Yeah.
Bank, my bank's private. What are you doing there? I'm telling you, like, anything I can to get away from it.
It's really important, and I mean.
I
people
don't
don't
ever
realize-
get it, right? You can connect back with it.
You got to buy something for airport.
People don't realize how much data they go.
It's not about the data, for me, it's about the privacy of that using it.
Well, that's the problem. You give away your data, once you do that.
But you just think
you
you're
don't-
I know, right?
People can spend 10 minutes on the internet researching you, find out a ton of information and use that.
So I am a national account manager for.
I'll look at your LinkedIn, I'll see, like, the.
Help me clean up stuff and check my computer, make sure I'm not every,
So.
You can contact me for sure.
I'm serious, I'm like, I'm anti, you know, all
Data
this.
analytics.
Oh, okay, so you do that with the.
Yeah, I just sales.
You know, 'cause I-
Right. It's not really templates.
Okay, so you come back, we'll be here.
I went to the other thing too.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Happy.
Where is that?
It's right out there, I think.
Okay. I think it's up there.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I can't.
Let me check it out.
Really, that, I'm worried all the time too.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
It was a great.
I even got a lot of different things. You're right. You could have given whole semesters. each of them.
And with you, Megan, we'll do something together. I don't know how we will work together. We'll talk
You
about it.
definitely have to.
You know, and there's so many opportunities and I think. What do you? Try to monetize.
Flash off.
So what we're doing right now is we're offering AI testing, so, if like IT director, and we'll phone that IT director's voice, and we'll call like. We'll call people that are in.
That's giving them the next link, it'll be all.
Because that's how people do it, right? In the age of advancement. So we're looking at, we're.
Where I see, I see people
That's what we see a lot of,
like that's what she's calling PCI,
Yeah.
right? You know, I have, I'll do it because I have.
Yeah, a lot of them already have to do the vision exercises, and we're just trying to upsell them to be more advanced. Which is good, right? They, the ones who care about security, which I'd say a lot of our clients really do care about, want to have the best.
Yeah, there's another show coming up, music technology. Music technology downtown, and we're going to then talk about the ethics. How, when you make, doesn't matter, but the voice is relevant, what people are doing is they take a singer's voice, take their image,
Yeah.
and make.
All I knew is actually used to do that. It strips everything except for the singer's voice, so that you can clone the voice and you can throw back in.
Also can karaoke.
I haven't done much with the music stuff. I've only done stuff with like audio.
Audio is fine, you won't, just
It's all
Yeah.
just think about.
high frequency downtown.
Wait, let me check my calendar. Send me an email.
I will, but it's basically the industry talking about the ethical.
Yeah.
Of the AI music industry, so it's all music industry. Conference, it's a small conference, 2 days. I asked them, give me the last, I always like to have the last. I always like to give me the last slot, because at least I know I can do other work and then get there. And it's in, and downtown, but I was thinking about something with the ethics, I look at it in terms, and always look at it, and I always say, this is for disability sake. I don't want to waste your time on.
No, we're gonna get the same presentation.
But think about.
Yeah, let me know. I'm out of town
And so people are gonna.
in June. I can't remember if I'm back. But send me Send me a note, I'll-
I will, and then I'll send also an email to Silva, just thanking you, you know, you're just, I'm just so glad, I never want to say, but I said, just send Colin, just send Colin.
No, she's always excited. I have like 3 speaking
Yeah,
engagements this
no, but
month.
it's
so
really,
she's-
you really represent her well.
That's good. She'll be excited to hear that.
No, I will.
You're doing your PhD.
I am, yeah.
How long is that? Are you doing it over time or?
So it's a 5-year program and I'm on my 4th year. So I have 1 year left, which is a little stressful, but getting it done.
But do you have to, like, if I was looking at PhD programs, I'm not as, like, I don't have, that started late, whatever. I was saying, okay, how can I get something? And so I went and I looked at FAU and I
Yeah.
was doing this business executive PhD, like a 3-year program. But even then, it's moving. Even then, you gotta look, they do a lot of data, right? You gotta, so I was thinking, how do I get my head around it? Like, how do you, like, you have to do it full time, how do you support yourself financially as you go?
So for computer science, they'll pay us. So I'm paid by the university to be a PhD. And as part of that, I have to TA, so I teach 1 class once a week.
Right.
And then I have to finish my research. So that's like the university's big thing is we have to get our research published. Because that's how the university gets.
But like, do you have to take classes?
Yeah,
When
so
you're taking these classes, like, how do you, like, you know, are they, if you're in computer science, are you like, do you have to be able to write code to, you know, like, how do you?
it depends. I would say most of the computer science, you're gonna have to write code.
Main stats or main, or like what kind of code? You gotta know off the thing, like you gotta know. Like,
Whatever your research is in.
Right.
So like for me, when I'm doing my research, I write in Python. Because it's easy to do. I would say I took, so for my first 2 years, you pretty much take classes. Which is like 24 credits worth of classes.
Right. Yeah, and when you're taking those classes, you have to write Python.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Some of them we have to write code, some of them we didn't. Some of them we have to write like MATLAB and some of them. It really depends on the topic of the course.
Right.
Like I took courses that I was interested in and were doing things related to what I'm doing, right? Which is nice.
Like
Kind of tailor what you're going for.
Right.
So like, I was talking to some of my other PhD friends and everyone has such specialized knowledge. So one of my friends does research on how that is passed through social networks. So like, if I make a post, how popular will that post be?
Right.
And how does it spread throughout the network? And his like domain of knowledge is specific to how networks work and how social media works. Versus like another one of my friends does automated theorem proving. So like, how do you go and prove something using a computer? And again, his domain of knowledge is specified that.
Okay,
So like,
any of the 9 buttons.
I wouldn't worry too much about like what you know already. You're gonna learn it as you start doing research, right? As you start getting into it.
What's your,
So my research is in blockchain. So I look at how we can use blockchain to make our data secure and private. So
I don't understand blockchain, but I know it has crypto.
yes, my research is actually in how can we get away. So crypto is one use case. What I look at is blockchain has these properties of storing data that keep it in a secure and like immutable form. Right, once I write something to a blockchain, it can't be changed. So we look at how.
Like, you said blockchain, but I never understood.
Yeah.
Let me get my.
Really into it.
So what it is a chain of blocks. So a block is some kind of data, right? You can think of a medical record. You have a medical record and you want to put it in this blockchain. The chaining comes from, if I make a change to a block, any